Playlist 7 is heaven, and who lets you in? When you make those sacrifices for those artifices, the fake imagery, the false narratives that others now have associated you with, you gotta just reject it. So I learned some things in a community, and the excuses that people will absolutely reuse, and the behaviors of, maintaining oppression of the most at-risk and in-need vulnerable classes. All right, things aren't exactly making 100% sense, but I know that my progress is fully evident, and I'll keep going. So playlist 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, 12 in all for the 9 compositions that I'll be writing. And don't forget, the first chapter is chock full of triggers, and April 5th, 2014, a wedding is where we start, because the issue was, let me know what's gonna happen so I can prepare for this wonderful day of moving up and down stairs, getting on a bus, the length of the day on top of all the events associated with it. And that's why when somebody gave me their phone to talk to a sibling who was trying to basically change the narrative of what happened last night and throw someone under the bus, when the reality was, no, you just tried to ditch us. And this is the first conversation we've had. So it's really weird. We're gonna write it, because the reality is the bachelors and the bachelorettes are gonna tell the story from now on. Thank you.
I'm done. We're done. I can't be with anyone because it sticks. The trauma with their dick. Even though it fit.
Snap back to the origin of those little fists when I'm walking down the street, and then I see this. Those little fists.
Oh, that initial sudden prick. Because I know it's coming. This body keeps a-humming with the trauma, their drama. The origin is an anxious mama. Because they raise these kids to go out into the world, and they fear what they did in their house was loser shit.
No need to show, because I can tell, I can describe all of it. That's why reliving their hell, there's no value. Did I just say that? Anyway, delete it.
They explained everything that happened between the privately. Kids go through that, it's just a phase. So why are you sharing on replay so continuously? Well, that was her trigger, didn't you know?
No need to show, because I can tell, I can describe
I've been observing their PTSD for 5 years. And that 6th year, my dear, oh Lord. How they flip their narrative. So I am choosing to live. 'Cause I know in life it's about what you give, not what you take, and cause further heartbreak to people you might never meet. I learned it all when I went to the street and I walked out of my house the same pathway. All those people I met in those days, how they live in a most depressing way, and mostly they're not seen. So I'll return, and now we judge those who we deem unclean. But it's not the physical visual, it's the inside that counts. Oh, this is so metaphysical. I'm done with those dums who exist in positions of power to decide my life. I don't think so, 'cause that's suicide. And we'll play one day, and we get to play one day in the sun. It's a symbol, hooray, that exists, so why not use it to recognize? It's all about matching the outside with the inside. And when they're not matching, let's call it discord. And now we're going to go to the romantics, who explained their raging mental illness because of deep loss in their families, looming death, and the confusion, delusion of why this life is so full of bamboozling. The charlatans, those liars, how can they live like that? Well, everyone's got to eat. Hunger is the strongest force there is. Stronger than sex, as my ex liked to remark. That before sex, he had to eat. So I could anticipate when it would happen. Every time. 'Cause I know. Thank you. It's coming. This body keeps a-humming with the trauma, their drama.
Hello, welcome. I'm Smarty, your hostess with the mostest.
And these are words I'm stuck on. They have too much unbelievability.
There's that T, which is a sound that reverberates loudly when you have vestibular head trauma and a sensory integration disorder, correct? Also T for my last name, Tapper, and T for teacher, and T for tenacity, which is the word I used in my parent letter. And finally, T for accountability, integrity, and loyalty. Tapping for the Wilson method because I taught literacy. Everyone knew I was the literacy teacher. Why? Because teachers would ask me to help them, and parents would ask me to tutor their kids, not even if they were eligible for special needs. So did they really forget? Because the Wilson method is a part of this school's curriculum now, and I just hope they're really teaching the kids that need the most help. The teachers would say, well, it'll catch up to them eventually, but you know what? Those parents are still paying for people to write their kids' papers for them and using the IEP to get out of work.
When you fail them, you fail us all.
Do you want your kids to be able to read and
responsible
write and
for
be
their
functional?
leadership
Or is
is
it
a
just the
composite
imagery?
of everything
Really?
you do and don't
This
do.
school,
When you
this
mess with these
community
little
is
eyes
the
when they're
case
just
study.
itty bitty bits. Don't you think they remember it?
And what do you think that they do?
Train goes down.
You must come on. Just a way to command control, which is how you beat trauma. Now I'm going to explain it to all y'all, because every little bit
And why
helps.
we've been talking about
Who's in and who's out.
A princess.
Wait. Nothing's wrong with this. You need to get over it.
Fine, I'm just sick of living in that zoo.
Fine, but my mind's all
Always you
mine.
push, rewind.
So we start there.
Love is the only way out. Turned our back. Love is back. Love is
The Kool-Aid, a truly submissive position. The wild dark side doesn't care about comfort, only
Those who
easy
can
division,
and
those who cannot.
that will blow your
Again,
I am a teacher. On and on until your heart skips a beat. And the fucking dreams that I You just wait 1 second. You just gotta know.
Responsibility to children.
To give them everything that we possibly can to help them grow in healthy ways, and help them to recognize that they can be angry and not have to hurt themselves or anybody else, that they can have the full range of feelings and express them in very healthy, positive ways.
Why I chose
My profession
corrected a situation.
It builds your
as
love
service
for others
to
and
those
participation.
who constant giving. That's what real living is. And they lied continuously.
knew it.
Train goes down.
You must come on.
If you want to have those conversation parents, not going to have them with you and your teachers to discuss how an IEP is used to get out of work.
Train goes down. You must come on.
I'm done.